Hey, welcome back to Dogtography. Are you looking for some ways that you can add some color and some life to your winter photos? Are they kind of looking blah and dull and boring and you want to spice them up a little bit with some color, but you just don't know how? Then today's episode is for you. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Andrea Fleury and welcome to Dogtography. My channel is all about how to take better images of your dog and how to create some really super fun memories. I walk you through different tips and tutorials and techniques. I sometimes show you behind the scenes of my professional career as a dog photographer, all while just trying to have some fun and enjoy time with our dogs. So my number one tip, my go-to for adding color into images, because remember I'm the girl that likes bold, vivid colors, really struggle with this in winter, so I'm feeling you if you're kind of like me, but it's to use light to your advantage. We don't have flowers, we don't have a lot of colorful things going on, everything just looks kind of dead and white and boring. So I use Mother Nature to help me out. Now you might be thinking like, what are you talking about? Like, we're lucky if we get any sun. Like, that's true. Like, okay, she works with you sometimes, not other times, but in the winter, when the sun is about to rise, is when you're going to notice a lot of color in the sky. This has to do with a lot of like nerdy environmental things, which I can't say that I'm an expert in, but I know that in the winter when it is cold, light refracts differently in the atmosphere. So you get a lot of like pinks and purples first thing in the morning, which to me is nice, bold, vivid colors. So I'm going to show you a few examples. Now, I haven't done a lot of winter shooting, mostly because it's cold and, you know, dogs don't necessarily want to be out in the freezing cold, nor do I, nor do the owners of the dogs that I work with. So these are just a few brief examples of what I'm talking about. So in this image, we have Ollie and his ball. So we set out in the early morning hours to capture his photo shoot on a beach. So beaches in the winter are one of my favorite places to go. I really enjoy the like icy, crystally look that sand has to it. We were definitely getting lots of like rainbow prism type stuff going on with the sand, with his shoot in particular. But pay attention to the background. So the background is what's giving this image color and giving it life. It's got this like orangey peachy tone to it with some pinks and purples kind of mixed in. So I'm really enjoying that. Let's look at another one from his session. So this one has got a lot of warmth to it, which you don't often see in a wintry kind of scene. There is no real dead giveaways that it's winter in this scene, other than I can just tell that everything is kind of frozen and dead looking, so I'm assuming it's in the winter time. But we're using the sun here to get that nice backlit glow. To me, it just looks nice and warm and it has a glow to it. Similarly with this image here, now this is a really nice portrait of Ollie in the glisten, like I can see the sun like glistening through the little frozen bits on some of the grasses. It's not adding necessarily a lot of like bold, vivid color, but it is definitely warming the image up. So if you don't like cold, wintry looking scenes and you're looking to add some warmth to your image, whether it's with your dog or its surroundings, this time of day is definitely a great time to do this. Now this is still in the morning, but it is after the sun is come over the horizon. So it tends to take on more of a yellowy, orangey kind of feel once it's come above the horizon. Okay, now this image here, the owner of these two dogs really wanted like cold, moody looking imagery. So I intentionally cooled this image down to make it kind of fit more of the vibe of what she was looking for. But again, what I really like about this image is that it was taken at a very early morning hour before the sun was too bright. You can tell that the sun has come up over the horizon because it's right kind of near where the owner's head is. But the haziness of the clouds in the sky has hazed over it enough to allow some of that warmth from the sun to kind of come through in the clouds.
So that's definitely another technique that you can use, and you can use editing techniques to achieve this kind of look. This is a silhouette, so I really love those. Any time of the year, I just love silhouettes. But you're kind of getting that nice coldness with the warmth of the sun in it as well. Now this image is another shot from her shoot a little later on. She has a bit of a darker colored dog here, so Bebop definitely has a bit more black in her face. So I am using direct sunlight to essentially light her up in all of her features, but where the color is coming in here in this image is from the background surroundings. So again, we're on a beach. I do a lot of beaches in the winter, I just love it. But I really found that the color from the grasses and the woods and everything that are coming in through this that was kind of like laying on the beach is very complementary to her fur color. So to me, this doesn't look dull and boring and white or gray or anything like that you would kind of associate with a winter image. It's got the nice blue sky, which you often do get in the winter if you're lucky enough to have a cloudless day, and then a lot of complementary colors within the environment. Okay, now this image here of my dog Asher, I definitely sought out an overcast day because I knew that I wanted to create a moody sky type of an image. So I'm back at a beach again here, no surprise there anymore. And I took this picture. Now it looked kind of like gray and blah, as it should have, because it was a raw file. But when I came home, I really kind of put a lot of work into the clouds. I made them a little bit more blue. I darkened different areas and patches and bits to kind of like add some layers to the sky to make it look that way. I love how the grasses and the color of the wood really complement the color in his fur. So I'm bringing color into this image by editing it after I had taken it. So again, this looked quite gray and washed out when I got the image home, but you know, you spend a little bit of time on these things and you can really start to bring out some of the colors that were already there, just might not have been showing necessarily in your picture, especially if you're shooting in a raw file. Okay, now this is kind of way out there. I don't expect you to go out and do this yourself, but this is one of my Milky Way images. So this was taken in March, which is still snowy and wintry here in Canada. Definitely very cold at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I specialize in doing Milky Way photography, but what I really love about this is, again, it's bringing in some of that like vivid color that I really like. So in this one, I get to see a lot of the indigos and the twilight colors, and I see purple in this. And I just like love the scene. You can only get Milky Way shots crystal clear like this in the winter. So again, it is a winter thing, at least where I am in the Northern Hemisphere. My dog, I edited him into this picture. So I took him to this beach, but during the daytime, and photographed him on his own on this log, the whole same thing. And I threw a treat up in the air and took a picture, which is how I got him looking up at the Milky Way. And then I just edited it in. So again, I'm not expecting you to do this, but I am showing you what is possible within the winter. You could find a professional photographer or me to create this type of an image for you if it's something that you really like the look of. Another moody winter beach shot here. I was trying to get in some of the environment. So some of this like curvature of the ice kind of mounds right before the water. I thought that was pretty cool. Again, I'm bringing in color from the sky and finding elements in the land that kind of complement the colors of my dog. Like a nice colder kind of icy looking image here. And now this one is definitely shot before sunrise. So this day it was minus 25 degrees Celsius. And if you know what temperature that is, like that is never again kind of cold. Like this was a snow dog, and even he was having a hard time. So this shoot did not last long, but this is the kind of colors that you can expect in the sky, like I was saying, before the sun rises, the pinks and the purples. Now I have brought these colors out and touched the vibrance up a little bit in the editing process, but again, when I was there and we're doing this photo shoot, these are, when I was doing this photo shoot, these are the colors that I remember seeing in the sky. And lastly here, we have this image of Ebony, and she looks, you know, perfect and amazing standing on top of her little ice mound. To me, when I look at this image, I do see a lot of colder tones, but I kind of get a little bit of like purples and some indigos in here. We've got some warmth kind of going on down near the bottom of these clouds again, and I like the way the wispy clouds are kind of filtering the sun and the light from the back. Again, to me, this image does look vivid. Like, it doesn't look gray and blah and boring, and it has no contrast. To me, this looks really bold and sharp. It has that hint of warmth to it, and I really, really like this, and I think it works well for a winter style image that isn't like screaming at you like dull, boring winter. So there you have it. I hope that that was just a fun, quick tip on how you can use the sun or the environment to add little pops of color into your images to make them a little brighter and more vibrant and more colorful, whether it's colors on the blue spectrum or over into the sunlight spectrum where you're getting oranges and yellows and pinks and purples. They definitely all add a little bit more color and life to your winter imagery. So I want to encourage you to go out and take some pictures with your dog and try some of these techniques. Might involve getting up early in the morning though, so good luck with that. I will see you next Saturday. Have fun. Bye for now.